podcast. This is a special edition of the Cultural Connections podcast, the 2020 election. Join us this evening as we digest the election results, analyze the data, and make some bold predictions. This is the Cultural Connections podcast, 2020 election edition.
And good evening. My name is Brian Imes, and I am the producer of the Cultural Connections podcast. And this is a special edition of the Cultural Connections podcast, the 2020 election special. We are continuing to provide you with the most up-to-date information here on the election results as they come in. It's currently it's around 12:25 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here, officially Friday, November 6th, if we're really keeping time. And we are continuing to track the results of this historic election. Before I dive into depth, we are coming of the results. I want to remind our viewers that we are live on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube through Zoom technology. What this means is, unfortunately, for my viewers that are on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, I will not be able to see your comments as frequently, unfortunately. So if you would like to interact, please feel free to. However, I may not be able to respond to you until after the live video is finished. So if you have questions, they will be answered, but likelihood is not until after this live video is finished. That said, we are also coming to you live on Instagram. That's why you see me with my phone in my hand. The best way to try to communicate, if you would like to send us a message or share your thoughts, have questions or comments in regards to what I'm saying, please go to our Instagram page, Cultural Connections 29, and watch the live video over there. You will be seeing the same information that we have over here on the Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube pages. However, the Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube is coming directly from my computer, and the Instagram account is directly on my phone. So, without further ado, let's get into the results right now of what we know. I have been doing this, I know already, a couple of times already throughout the evening, and I just want to bring us back up to date on where things stand. So I'm going to share my screen, and when we're going to get into the results again of what we know so far with this historic 2020 election. So again, what are we watching for? We're still watching for Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Arizona, Georgia. Here again is a look at the Electoral College map that was a prediction based on Tuesday night. Again, as we look at this map, here is some important information, and we're going to go through this on what we know. We can officially, as you will see, on what states that we have already called for and everything, and that you will see coming up in just a few minutes. So again, we'll get to that. But first, our projections are as follows. We can project that Joe Biden has won the state of Massachusetts. We can project that Joe Biden has won the state of Maryland. We can project that Joe Biden has won the state of Maine. We can project that Joe Biden has won the state of Vermont. We can project that Joe Biden has won the state of Virginia. We can project that Joe Biden has won the state of New York. We can project that Joe Biden has won the state of New Jersey. We can project that Joe Biden will win the state of Delaware. We can project that Joe Biden will win the state of Washington, D.C. We can project that President Trump will win the state of Oklahoma. We can project that President Trump will win the state of Kentucky. We can project that President Trump will win the state of Arkansas. We can project that President Trump will win the state of Mississippi. We can project that President Trump will win the state of Louisiana. We can project that President Trump will win the state of Alabama. We can project that President Trump will win the state of Wyoming. We can project that President Trump will win the state of North Dakota. We can project that President Trump will win the state of South Dakota. We can project that President Trump will win the state of West Virginia. We can project that President Trump will win the state of Idaho. We can predict that President Trump will win the state of Utah. We can predict that President Trump will win the state of Nebraska. We can project that Vice President Biden will win the state of Illinois. We can predict that Vice President Biden will win Minnesota. We can predict that Vice President Biden will win the state of Colorado. We can predict that Vice President Biden will win the state of New Mexico. We can predict that Vice President Biden will win the state of Oregon. We can predict that Vice President Biden will win the state of Washington. We can predict that Vice President Biden will win the state of Hawaii. We can predict that Vice President Biden will win the state of Hawaii. We can predict that Vice President Biden will take the state of California. We can predict that Vice President Biden will win the state of Michigan. We can predict that Vice President Biden will win the state of Wisconsin. We can predict that Vice President Biden will win the state of Arizona. We can predict that Vice President Biden will win the state of New Hampshire. We can predict that President Trump will win the state of Florida, and we can predict that President Trump will win the state of Texas. So what's left? What are the states that are too close to call still? Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia, Arizona, Nevada, and Alaska. Now, I want to get into a couple of things because you're probably saying, but wait a second, he just called Arizona for Joe Biden. You are correct. The other media outlets, exception for the Associated Press and Fox News, have not called Arizona yet, but I think we'll be seeing that result coming in very soon. Nevada is continuing to lean Democrat. That's why I wrote the words leaning Democrat there in the graphic. I do believe that Joe Biden has a stronger chance of taking the state of Nevada. Now, let's get into the results because a lot has continued to change of what we do know so far. So I am going to stop sharing my screen for a minute, and I'm just going to turn my phone camera back towards me here so I can queue up the next set of graphics. And we're going to start off with talking about the Associated Press's map, which is what I have already mentioned to you of what we're looking at. And these are, again, real numbers right now as they're coming in. Here is the Associated Press's map. Let's start with the state of Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania right now with 95% of the vote in. And Donald Trump is leading by 0.3 points. Exactly what are we talking about? Look at that number. 3,285,000. Oh, something just happened there. I apologize about that. So we'll go with that again. Excuse me. Sorry about that. President Trump has 3,285,239 votes to Joe Biden's 3,262,850 votes. So exactly how many votes separate these two? Well, let's do the math here. This race could be decided very soon because of the fact that right now in Pennsylvania, they are counting the mail-in ballots. We know very well so that the mail-in ballots, specifically in Pennsylvania, favor Joe Biden. And now let's do the math. If you are on Instagram, you are going to see the math being done right before your eyes. Here we go. Okay, here we go. We have our answer. So how many votes separate Donald Trump and Joe Biden? Well, if you are on Instagram, you may want to take a guess first. Here's the number. 22,389. Okay, how many votes are left in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania? Well, let's go to another result system here and we'll find out. So bear with me for just a moment and I will get that on the screen here for you. I think this is the one I wanted. And okay, I am going to share this. Yeah, this is what I was trying to do. And I'm going to go over here and we're going to look at Pennsylvania. We have 96% of the vote in with 366,616 votes to go. Let's look at exactly why this is happening. Again, this is because of the mail-in votes. We are expecting any time now another set of votes to come in to be brought in to be totaled here in Pennsylvania. This could put Biden over the top if Biden does get over the top, this will make it so we can call the state of Pennsylvania, which will make it be that Biden is then the next president of the United States of America. So let's take a look here more closely at these counties here. Let's start with the Delaware County, where Biden is up a lot in this county with 90.7% of the vote. Look at Chester County, another very big county here with Biden ahead. Again, 95% of the vote in, and Joe Biden is continuing to maintain a healthy lead. Let's go over here to Philadelphia County, another very strong threshold for Biden. When these results come in, this will play a huge factor for Joe Biden. 521,484 votes for Joe Biden so far in this county. Philadelphia is heavily Democrat, and that's where the mail-in votes are being counted right now. Other areas that we're watching, further in here, we're watching Chester County, which is really a center suburb here in Philadelphia, in Pennsylvania. And again, Joe Biden on top with 39,711 votes with 86.9% of the vote in. Another area, Pittsburgh, with Biden on top again with another big vote margin of 396,767. That's Pittsburgh. That is in Allegheny County, where Pittsburgh is located. Erie County in Erie, Pennsylvania, another very, very close race here over here in Erie, Pennsylvania. But Joe Biden is leading in that area right now with 94% of the vote in. Joe Biden is leading in Erie, Pennsylvania with 49.6% of the vote. That's 66,966 votes that he has. We are again officially waiting on the next set of votes to come in. And when they do, if for Pennsylvania, they could possibly put Biden over the edge. So we are waiting any time now. It could happen while I'm live with you. If it doesn't, we will still come back on here live, whatever time of the night it is today. We're going to be tracking these results throughout the night. So if that happens, we will be back on here live with you. I'm just coming back to me here on Instagram. Let's also go over to the state of Georgia right now, where another close race is very much happening right now. And again, looking at this race here in Pennsylvania, in Georgia, I should say. I'm going to switch the camera over here so you can see this here Instagram. You can see here again, as we look at these numbers here in Georgia, you can see how close they are with President Trump's 2,448,016 votes to Vice President Biden's 2,446,211. We are 99% of the vote in with 68,616 votes remaining. Now let's talk about how many votes separate these two men. Well, we have to do the math. So let's do the math right now. And if you're on Instagram, you are going to get to see the math get done. Here we go. Okay, we have our answer here. This is another staggering number with 68,816 votes remaining to be counted. What is the difference between these two men? Right here is your answer. 1,805 votes. That is all. That's how close this race is in Georgia. Now, what's going on here? Similar to Pennsylvania, the votes being counted right now are those mail-in ballots, especially around the Atlanta suburbs, where it's heavily Democrat. You can see the same thing over here in these areas where Joe Biden is taking a lead in Washington County with 99% of the vote in. Joe Biden is ahead by a slim margin here with 50% of the vote, 4,721 votes to 4,658 votes. Only a few hundred votes separate them in this county. Another county, Jefferson County, where Joe Biden has pulled ahead in this county as well with 99% of the vote in. Joe Biden leads again in this county 4,053 votes to 3,534 votes. So as we look at this, this is what's going on here. I want to bring you over down to a real-time map here, and I'm going to now actually show you, now that I have figured out the issues with our electoral college map that we were having earlier, that we're now at the right total with 254 votes right now for that we're looking at for Joe Biden and 213 for President Trump. So let's just say hypothetically right now that Joe Biden wins the state of Pennsylvania. He is over 270, game over. He wins the election. But let's say, okay, all of a sudden President Trump maintains his lead and he wins Pennsylvania. What is next? Okay, well, we'll give Pennsylvania, we'll give North Carolina also to President Trump, and we'll give Alaska to President Trump. That leaves Georgia, Arizona, and Nevada. If we give Biden Arizona and we give Biden Nevada, he wins the race. So that's another answer there. What happens if Trump wins Arizona? Well, look at that. Trump still doesn't have the answer to win. What happens if Trump wins Nevada? Again, a hypothetically unlikely to happen. What happens? Okay, well, that leaves Biden with only Georgia. And let's say Biden takes Georgia. Biden actually still wins with the state of Georgia at 270, even with that combination. Now, what happens here in another situation is let's say, if Trump takes Georgia and only Biden takes Nevada, which is again an unlikely scenario here from the numbers that we're looking at, then Trump would win another term as president. That is the only way. President Trump would have to win Pennsylvania, Georgia, and Arizona. Now, what happens here? Let's say let's say give an example, is if Biden wins Arizona, but Trump wins Nevada, what happens? Again, you see here that Vice President Biden, that it is a tie, that it is 265 to 273, and Trump would win the election. So there are many different routes here. Let's say, for example, though, that Biden wins Georgia and Trump wins Arizona, what happens? Biden wins the election by a very close 270 to 268. Again, I think right now, this is how I think the map is going to eventually play out. This is my prediction. It is not a projection, but I am going to check and see if we have any new numbers coming in right after we finish this. This is what I think is going to happen. Nevada, Arizona, Pennsylvania, and Georgia for Biden, 307 to 231 in the Electoral College. I'm now going to switch back over here, and we're going to see here, this is not what I wanted, if there is any new results. I continually am refreshing. As of right now, it does not appear to, actually, I apologize on that. There are a couple more. No, wait. I am sorry, there were more numbers that came in, and I apologize about that. Yes, so Biden has continued here in Georgia. We got some more votes in. Biden is increasing his lead here and coming very close to taking over Trump's lead. We're now seeing Biden with, now if I was really to do math even further, the vote is coming even less. Last we were at between them was 1,805 here in Georgia. Now Joe Biden has 2,446,328. So that number is continuing. Biden is continuing to raise that number. Let's go back over to Pennsylvania. Again, we're waiting on more information here. I do not believe we've gotten any more results in yet here from Pennsylvania. Not that I know of. It doesn't. Yeah, I know. I apologize. It appears that actually we got one more vote in it. It appears we got a couple more votes in for Biden, a couple more in for Trump. So again, we're still watching this very closely because we do expect sometime tonight another big vote dump here for us. More numbers, big numbers coming in for Pennsylvania is expected. It was expected at midnight. We are still waiting on that information. I'm going to stop sharing my screen for just a moment so I can analyze some information here. So bear with me for a minute. And let me see here. Let me see here. Hold on. And I'm a little concerned here why. All right, let me see here. One moment. We're gonna turn our attention here. I'm just looking to see if we have any additional information on exactly. We're not getting any information here at the moment. We're waiting to see. There's not any information coming through here. Again, we're waiting. Oops, sorry about that, folks, on Instagram. I just look up my pen here as well. We're waiting to see about this vote drop here because again, we could possibly see Biden go over the edge tonight here as we're waiting on information. Okay. So we're just also learning as of 10 minutes ago from Georgia that there are going to be no additional vote count updates expected from Georgia's according to Georgia's Secretary of State tonight. So we're not expecting any more numbers coming in from Georgia. Georgia is going to stay where it is, and we'll get more numbers from Georgia tomorrow, or technically in the morning. As I'm saying here, I'm not seeing any information yet about the new votes coming in yet from Pennsylvania. Let me try one other source here. I know we're expecting it. Let's see here. Let's see here. I'm going to go to this for a moment. Hold on. Hold on a minute. We're just going to get into this for a second. It's just going to be a second here, folks. I apologize for the delay. Okay. I'm just trying to track some other information on these sources to see about. Okay. I am still officially awaiting information here, trying to track down information here on this vote. I don't on when we're expecting more numbers to come in, and I'm not seeing any coming in yet. We are expecting them to come in here from Pennsylvania shortly, and again, that could be tonight, as early as any minute now. I'm not able to bring in any information at the moment because we're not getting any information, and I'm just trying to. Okay, so we're not able to, as of right now, the latest on what we're seeing, and we're hopefully getting more information on these votes. But right now, there is no information right now that we can indicate about tonight in Pennsylvania. We're still expecting it. So again, I can't emphasize enough that if Biden does win Pennsylvania, and it is very hugely possible if Biden goes over the edge with Pennsylvania tonight, then it would be a clear indication that Biden would win Pennsylvania. But we just can't say yet because we do not have the numbers yet. But we're waiting, and it could be any time now that we see this. So we're going to keep an eye on these numbers. And I know I'm looking at my phone too at the same time. And I do want to now, because I have a moment, I'm going to take a moment to see the live stream that we have going on right now to see if, okay, so we don't have any comments over here. I know it is late, so probably not getting that much of people tuning in at the moment. But if you do watch this after the live video, please feel free to comment to us. We definitely will check the comments. Again, as of right now, we are awaiting these details coming in from Pennsylvania. It could be any time tonight. So please stay tuned with us. As soon as we have the result here, of course, we will bring it to you, even if it's late tonight. We're going to come on here live with those results. It is expected at any time right now that we're expecting numbers, new votes coming in from Pennsylvania. And as of right now, we're just not seeing them come in yet. We're awaiting that information. I'm trying to see if there isn't any additional information that is coming forth. And right now, I'm not seeing anything at the moment. But again, that's not to say that I mean, usually these things can get delayed too. I'm just checking to see if there is. I'm just trying to see if we have any additional information here. I want to just mention about the lawsuits that are going on. I know I mentioned this earlier in our last live video. I figured I might bring this back into full fruition again because I think it's important. As many of you heard, the president spoke earlier this evening, making falsehood after falsehood about voter fraud, about illegal votes. I want to make known that there is no indication of this sort of thing happening. There has been no media outlet to report this. We have not been able to verify any information like that ourselves here either from reports that we have read. So again, it is very much, to say the least, that this is dangerous information that the president is promoting. These are conspiracy theories that are simply put untrue, and it is a dangerous situation for him to be doing this right now, and it is a way of inciting violence in this country. And we are seeing that in parts of the country tonight, where in Nevada, for example, we have seen protests where people are showing where Trump supporters have shown up at the counting of voting count locations, polling locations, where they're counting the votes and shouting things with weapons. So again, and the same thing in Arizona last night too. This is the type of thing that incites violence. The best we can do here is count every single vote, stay calm, be patient. We will see all of the votes being counted. It's going to take its time, though. I just am continuing to check to see if there is any additional information right now. And unfortunately, I'm not able to give you that because we're waiting to see what is going on here with these results. And again, I'm trying to see what I can find. Has I am trying to find out when. Let's see. Well, I'm trying to find out because we're expecting another vote drop this evening. All right, so I'm going to do the math here one more time because obviously we're seeing more votes being added here for Pennsylvania, so we can see how many votes are actually separating these two. So you're going to get to see me do the math here one more time here live on Instagram. Okay, so how many votes now separate these two? The number continues to really drop. We're now down to the fact of 22,000, and I'm showing you me here on, I meant to change my camera here on Instagram. 22,566 votes is all that separates Joe Biden from President Trump in Pennsylvania. We're again watching as votes come in. We are expecting a large vote number coming in sometime very soon. It was supposed to come in after midnight. We have not gotten that yet. We are still awaiting that. And we expect that to come in possibly at any time now. We just don't have the numbers yet. And that is what we're waiting on. And again, we're watching these counties that have gone blue and continuing to watch Vice President Biden's lead extend, like in Erie County, where Vice President Biden is continuing to extend on his lead. We're watching the same thing here in Bucks County, where his lead is extending there too. And these are big leads that are Democratic areas that, but did not go Democratic in some of these areas 4 years ago. So again, look at this here. This is a very close area. This is Northampton County. Biden has 49.5% of the vote with 83,401 to Trump's 49% of the vote with 82,548. So that's very close there. But again, as we watch these numbers come in, and I'm going to continue to refresh here to see if we're getting anywhere with these numbers. As of right now, we have not gotten any new numbers in yet. I'm looking at what I have just totaled to you. We went from 850 to 869. So we added 850 to 869. We added about 860. We added around 19 more votes, it appears. So we're awaiting to see what happens here. And I think we're going to watch we know that the majority of the votes that remain are Democratic votes, which could possibly tip the scale in Pennsylvania for Joe Biden. We're watching that closely. I'm also checking back here on Arizona because I believe we were getting more numbers from Arizona tonight too. Joe Biden continues to maintain his lead. It has shrunk, but is continuing to maintain a steady lead here in Arizona. I don't know if we're getting any more results in Nevada here tonight as well. Hold on just a minute here. And I'm actually going to share my screen again here on for our Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube users if my computer wants to function properly. Come on. So here we go. I'm going to share my screen. All right, so what we're looking at here, I want to share you Nevada. Let's take a look here at Nevada right now. Joe Biden continues to lead with the 49.4% of the vote, 604 votes. Really, Biden's lead is getting away from Trump's in Nevada. I think we can almost call Nevada soon. And then let's go back here to the big map. If we can go back, can I reset the map here? And again, this is what we're watching here, Pennsylvania, very, very closely. We are 95% of the vote in. The last time this was updated was as of 11:58 p.m. We have not seen a new vote tally come in yet. We are awaiting that. It is supposed to be coming in any time now. for new votes. So we are waiting our next update. And we're not seeing that yet. I mean, we're seeing that we're expecting it at any time. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna switch into seeing if I can get some live feed here on. I'm gonna stop sharing for just a moment, and I'm gonna see if I can find out any additional information from some of our sources here on exactly. Whoops, and you're looking not at me. Here, come on. There it goes. You're on Instagram. So I'm going to switch this over. Ooh, and I'm just going to see what I can find out. So bear with me for a minute, Instagram and Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. I am going to see what I can find here for you and see what we can find what information I can bring to you. So bear with me for just a moment. We'll be having it for you very soon. And I'm just waiting for my computer to load here. It's being a little bit slower than anticipated. And I'm going to turn this more towards me here so you can see me. Obviously, I'm a little tired here because it is late, but we are determined here to give you the results. We're not going anywhere. That's what we are here for, to bring you these results. So let's go here. Let me just see what I can do to find out here what we know. And let me switch this over to this. And again, I'm just tuning to see what we know for information and when we can expect from Pennsylvania to have its vote tally. So bear with me for just a moment. We are awaiting that information. And I'm just going to put... All right, so I'm just going to keep tuning in on this for just a moment to see if we get any new votes and information in from Pennsylvania. Again, I believe we're expecting that at any time now. So as soon as we do get that, we'll let you know. Oh, what's going on here? Again, we're just waiting on new numbers to be coming in. It could be any time now. We're talking again, remind you, I want to show you this here. We're talking about a difference in Pennsylvania of 22,566 votes. In Georgia, we're only talking about 1,805 votes that separate these two, which I'm sorry, it's actually 1,709. My math must have been off. 1,709 votes separate these two, and in Pennsylvania, it's about 22,000. In Arizona, it is 47,052 votes that separate these two, and I do believe from the numbers that we're seeing, I think it's more likely than not that Joe Biden will carry the state of Arizona. In Nevada right now, Joe Biden is ahead by 11,438 votes. I think that vote is going to continue the way it is, and we expect that. So I'm not too concerned on that. I do believe that is what we're looking at now. Again, we are just awaiting new information from Pennsylvania. That is what we are waiting for, and I'm staying with you just in case we do get results from Pennsylvania. Again, we don't know as of right now what the situation is because we haven't heard anything. But I'm going to stay with you for another few minutes, and if we do not get any new numbers in yet from Pennsylvania, then we will come back to you live when we do, and once we have more information, we will do that. But as of right now, that's the information that we do know. So, again, it's a very tight race out there, and why I want to just reiterate what I have said about the fact, excuse me, I'm talking too much and my mouth is getting dry. What we are saying here with these votes is that, again, in Pennsylvania, the majority of the remaining votes are going to be mail-in ballots. Now, again, this is all of what we know for information. We could be wrong, but the data that we have indicates that. So we are just awaiting, because we do expect to see a large vote dump here coming from Pennsylvania very soon. It was supposed to be at midnight Eastern. It's now a little after 1 a.m. And yes, we're still live with you. And we're just awaiting to see what happens here. And that is one of the big things here. So let's continue to see. We're continuing to watch to see if we see these results come through, what is going to happen. And that is the big situation here. And that is what we're watching right now. And we're continuing to watch this very, very closely. So I am continuing to show you here, what do we know? And again, this is what we know as of right now, that we are awaiting a vote dump from, that's the basic simple word to call it, from Pennsylvania. And we expect that any time now. And I am continuing to look at that information and trying to see if we have new numbers as of right now. And I'm just checking here. There's another new update coming in. Okay, we still do not know yet. I'm just checking here. We're still not getting any new numbers here in Pennsylvania. We still do not have any new numbers. We're still waiting on those numbers, and we're awaiting that information. So bear with us for now. We're awaiting on those numbers. We expect them at some point soon, and that could tip this election. We will continue to watch that. So you know what, for now, because it is 1:06 in the morning, I'm going to keep looking into all of the data that we're getting. But for now, I'm going to stop this live video, and I will come back on live if there are any further results. Stay with us. What is that just came through? Okay. No new information. So we are awaiting, and as soon as, again, we see the results coming in, we will, of course, let you know. We're continuing to watch all of this, and as soon as there is more details, you will be one of the first to see it here on Cultural Connections. So again, please continue to stay with us here on Cultural Connections. For now, this has been a 2020 election update on the Cultural Connections podcast. My name is Brian Ives, and I am the producer of the Cultural Connections podcast. Again, this has been a 2020 election update.
This is a special edition of the Cultural Connections podcast, the 2020 election. Join us this evening as we digest the election results, analyze the data, and make some bold predictions. This is the Cultural Connections podcast, 2020 election edition.